अवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयं भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भूमोस्खलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनं त्वय्यजात अपराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभो। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित् तं नृसिंहम् अहं भजे। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यप्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So today I have been asked to speak about the glories of most revered Srila Gurudev, Param Pujyapad Tridandi Swami, Nityalila Pravishta Shri Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami, Srila Guru Maharaj Ji. So, I have seen they have put the title as Vaishnava Sabha in the honor of the 4th disappearance anniversary of most revered Srila Gurudev. So, actually, this is the right spirit because this is the tithi that is to be honored. The disappearance, just like the appearance is honorable, in a similar way, the disappearance of a pure devotee is also equally honorable. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Madhava Tithi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kari Krishna Vasati Vasati Boli Parama Adare Vari. He writes about Ekadashi Tithi that in this particular Tithi, this is called Madhava Tithi, this is very dear to the Lord. In this particular Tithi, the Lord is residing. Therefore, this is to be honored. He is telling that this Ekadashi Tithi is to be honored because in this particular Tithi, Lord Himself is residing. So, in a similar way, this appearance and disappearance, our Gurudev, he is giving us an opportunity to remember about him. So, therefore, any moment that gives us impetus to remember Hariguru Vaishnavas is to be honored. So, people in general, the disappearance, they consider it as a inauspicious or a bad day. They don't want to remember that particular day. They call it as Shok Sabha. We call Viraha Sabha. We call it as Viraha Utsav. They call it as Shok Sabha. There is a gulf of difference between the two. Shok Sabha means lamentation. An assembly, basically, people get together to express their lamentation or express the grief, about a person who has departed from this world. But the Vaishnavas, they have never come to teach this. because they say जातस्य ही ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मात् अपरिहार्यार्थे नत्वं शोचितुम अर्हसि. Krishna is telling to Arjuna that a person who has taken birth, death is inevitable. He has to leave this world one day. And dhruvam janma mritasya jatasya hi dhruvam mrityuh. And a person who has taken, who has died, dhruvam janma mritasya cha, he will take birth. A person who is born, he will die, bound to die. And a person who is dead, he is bound to take birth. Tasmat apariharyarthe means that which is inevitable, that which is bound to happen, natvam shochitum arhasi. A person, a sober person, is not supposed to lament for that, because it is going to happen anyway. So that which is going to happen, what is the point in lamenting? The Vaishnavas, they come to this material world to exactly give this instruction. Don't lament for that which is bound to die. I think that birthday is most glorious, or is to be respected, honored, or celebrated, whereas a particular day on which a person has departed is to be lamented or mourned for. No, it is not. The wise people, they don't mourn or lament for those who are not living. And particularly Vaishnavas, they neither take birth nor do they die. They are not like this conditioned material world, materialistic people, that they have birth or they have death. They come to this material world with a particular purpose by the will of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. They perform pastimes and then they again go back to reunite that with their eternal spiritual master as well as Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in the Nitya Dham. Therefore, it is also a tithi to be honored, because on this particular day they have re-entered. We have seen particularly in the case of our most revered Gurudev, day and night he had been weeping severely in separation. Well, there is separation, it seems to be there is grief. In separation, outwardly it appears that there is grief. And ordinary people, they confuse it. Oh, okay, we are also, grieving. We are also mourning for those who are, dead. And these people are also grieving. Actually, there is a gulf of difference. It appears that there is grief in separation, but actually there is a lot of bliss that is, felt by the devotee from within. Because that is a particular tithi on which there is a lot of remembrance about, the dearmost object of worship. We heard previously that after Guru Maharaj had, offered his prayers in the Bhajan Kutir of most revered Srila Param Gurudev, he used to feel extreme bliss from within after going to his Bhajan Kutir. Outwardly we see that he is weeping there. Yes, he is weeping because just like a dependent child, he is crying for the mother. He cannot bear even a moment separation from the mother. So that is the idea. It is not that he is he's mourning or he is grieving or he is suffering. No. He cannot bear even a moment separation from his dearmost object of worship. Now the time has come when he has reunited. Therefore, it is a tithi that is to be honored. It is a tithi that is to be respected. It is a tithi that is to be particularly remembered, because it gives us a special opportunity. Every moment we need to remember. Smartavyam satatam Vishnum vismartum na jatuchit. Always remember Vishnu and the Vaishnavas. Always, always. And never forget them. And any particular day or date or tithi or occasion or a moment that reminds us, that gives some reminiscences of our, of the pure devotees, that tithi is to be most honored and respected. That is to be, repeatedly prayed for, seeked for, wanted for. Then the Lord will provide more and more such opportunities. The devotees will give, yes, he has a desire to remember, therefore I shall give him the remembrance, an opportunity to remember him. or the intelligence to remember me in this way. And our um, Madan Gopal Brahmachari Prabhu, the dear servant of most revered Param Gurudev, he told on the occasion of Param Gurudev's disappearance day, he has just defined viraha. Viraha means, he described it as viraha. V means Vishesha, Raha means to stay. Vishesh means particularly, specifically, or minutely. Raha means to stay. So Viraha he defined as, people say that it is separation, but he defined it as a particular way of staying close. Viraha. A particular way of staying very close to our dearmost object of worship. So this is a particular moment. How can we stay close to the object of worship? There is only one way. In this material world, there is only one way. That is to listen, to speak. Only if we listen, the glories, eyes are the only, ears are the only means by which we can come in contact with the transcendental world. And tongue has a specific, feature or property to speak, and that should be utilized by hearing and by speaking. We will stay closer to our dearmost object of worship. It's a very particular, a specific way of staying closer to the object of worship, viraha. So, people in general, they call it as a Shokasabha, and we call it as Virahotsav. Contrast. The contrast. Shokasabha means an assembly of lamentation. Virahotsav means festival of separation. It is a festival. Why is it a festival? Because that is giving us an opportunity to remember about it. And people, in general, materialistic people, they offer Shraddha on this particular day to their, previous forefathers, to the forefathers, etc. On the disappearance tithi, or the day on which they have demised, they do Shraddha ceremony. Why do they do Shraddha ceremony? According to the scriptures, they do Shraddha ceremony in order to relieve the forefathers from the bondage. For the benefit of the forefathers, the Shraddha needs to be performed by those persons who are staying back in this world. And what is the importance of Virahotsav? We are performing Shravana, Kirtana, singing the glories, listening to the glories, performing the Kirtana, the prayers, etc., Arati. All these things we are doing for our benefit. The contrast is remembering the Vaishnavas, performing any activities for them is for our material, for our own spiritual, eternal, topmost, ultimate welfare. And the Shokasabha, they do Shraddha ceremony for the benefit of the forefathers. So the difference is the remembrance of the pure devotees, remembrance of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is the topmost bliss. The moment we shall forget them, Maya shall attack us. Guru Maharaj used to say that if any of our, sense organs are not engaged in the service of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, then Maya will find a loophole to enter into the heart. If we do not engage any of the sense organs, then Maya will find a loophole to enter into the heart. Once Maya enters into the heart, she will make her own place, and all the sense organs are slowly swayed away from Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and his remembrance. Therefore, the objective is to remember Hari Guru Vaishnavas under all circumstances, and not to, sway away or not to, even for a moment forget or engage our sense organs in anything other than Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. For that, we have to pray sincerely to most revered Srila Gurudev. Srila Guru Maharaj had given so many instructions to all of us. So today, I shall try to remember the teachings of most revered Srila Gurudev, because we have been hearing to the pastimes. There are innumerable pastimes, and there is no end to the pastimes. But somehow, even I thought that I shall speak some pastimes, but somehow I am getting inspired to speak some teachings of most revered Srila Gurudev, that it is most beneficial for all of us to remember the teachings of most revered Srila Gurudev, because the only way by which we come in contact with the pure devotees is through service. Either they are performing pastimes in this material world, or they have left this material world to enter back into the Nitya Dham of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. In either case, the only way we can come in contact with the pure devotee is through service. And Vaishnava Seva, service to the Vaishnavas, is the only means by which one can get delivered from this material world. There is no other way. And how can we perform service? Unless we have not devoted ourselves completely, how can we serve them? To devote ourselves completely means what? To accept whatever instructions they have given. Complete Sharanagati. Complete Sharanagati means surrender. What is the meaning of complete submission? Complete submission means whatever they have instructed, we are there to follow it 100%. So, the only way that we can come in contact with the pure devotees is through their instructions, and particularly when they disappear from this material world, we can serve them only through their teachings, by spreading those teachings, by following ourselves those teachings. That is the only way that we can serve them, and by that they will be pleased. Most revered Srila Gurudev, he often he used to say this instruction, that don't blame others for your own sufferings. We shall remember some teachings of most revered Srila Gurudev for our own welfare. You shall not blame others for your own sufferings. Living entities get those sufferings that they have given to others. Maybe in this life, in the past life, or some other lives in the past. We don't know. But the Supreme Lord, as an all-knower, He knows that who has done what. And He gives fruits accordingly. He is not partial. Guru Maharaj, he used to say that Supreme Lord is not partial. One time in Bombay, one devotee, Guru Maharaj was leaving for Kolkata, I believe, from Bombay. And one devotee in the airport, those days, all these things were allowed. In the airport, we used to sit and sing kirtans. Guru Maharaj also used to sit and participate in the kirtans. And a beautiful kirtan was sung about Gurudev. What is that? My dear Gurudev, if you don't shower mercy upon me, then how can I get rescued? Like this, all the devotees offered their, submission in the form of kirtan. And Guru Maharaj was also performing this kirtan, and he was also weeping. We are offering to Gurudev, and Gurudev is offering to his own Gurudev. He is remembering his own Gurudev, and then he is weeping. He is sitting in the airport, all the devotees surrounded him, and they are also singing kirtan, Guru Maharaj singing kirtan, and then he is weeping. So after that, almost the time has come for Guru Maharaj to, board the flight. So at that time, one devotee asked, Guru Maharaj, kripa kijiye, Guru Maharaj, please shower your mercy. Guru Maharaj, please shower your mercy. Then Guru Maharaj replied, mercy is there always. You don't have to ask for mercy. Mercy is always there. Just like mother, the child does not have to say, mother, love me. Mother's love is naturally there on the son, on the child. But if the child is not able to realize, feel the mother's love, it is not the fault of the mother, it is the fault of the child. The child complains that my mother does not love me, it is because he is not able to feel or realize the love of his mother or her mother. The mother's love is natural. And Guru Maharaj continued, it is not very difficult to please that mother also. Mother is very easily pleased with the child. Because he says that a child is eating something and then suddenly it drops from the hands of the child. So it has fallen on the ground, there is phlegm of the child, on top of the phlegm or saliva there is the dust that got accumulated, and the child takes it from the ground and offers it to the mother. Mother does not say, oh no, this is impure, just throw it away. No, she takes it. It is that much easy to please a mother. She does not see, she only sees that he or she, the child, is offering me something. She does not see the quality of it, because mother's love is like that. That is the maxim that we can compare best in this material world. There is nothing, nothing compares to the Shuddha Prem, the pure love. But there is one example in this material world. So it is that easy to please a mother. In a similar way, it is very easy to please Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Lord's grace, Lord's mercy is there always. But if the child complains that the mother does not love me, it is the fault of the child but not the mother. So in this manner, the mercy that we have to really feel, the mercy of the pure devotees, mercy of Sri Guru, it is there always. So Guru Maharaj, he used to, on several occasions, he used to say that without the grace of the Supreme Lord, without the grace of a pure devotee, without the grace of Sri Guru, we cannot even remember them. Remembering is the most auspicious thing. Forgetfulness is the most inauspicious thing. But even to remember them, we have to pray for their mercy. To get their mercy, we have to pray for their mercy. So this only indicates that how we are extremely dependent only on the mercy. By our own will, by our own practice, by our own performances, penances, we cannot attain that supreme. The only way is to remember, only way is to pray for the grace, so that we can remember them and so that we can get, we bring auspiciousness in our own life. So, going back to this particular instruction that Guru Maharaj used to give, that don't see defects in others. We are so much used to seeing defects in others that we always try to think that I am the best. Guru Maharaj in the library, when he used to come for giving water to Tulsi ji, he used to give some instructions. He used to say that all are good, I am bad. You should perform bhajan in this mood. All are good, I am bad. But we think just the opposite. All are bad, I am good. Devotion is not possible in this mood. A true votary, a true sadhaka, he always sees his own defects. He does not see the defects of others. And if we see defects of others, then we will never make any progress in the spiritual world. In fact, this is the first instruction I received from most revered Srila Gurudev. This is the first instruction. I got an opportunity to speak with him in Mayapur Parikrama time, during Mayapur Parikrama time. And if I am not wrong, on the Vidyanagar Parikrama day, the longest Parikrama day, I got an opportunity to speak with him personally. So, on that particular day, it was afternoon, Guru Maharaj took his prasad and he was sitting by the side of the hut. There were huts in those days, and then Guru Maharaj sitting by the side of the hut, and then 2-3 of us were sitting in front of him. So I asked Srila Guru Maharaj that initially, when I was in the initial days of my Krishna consciousness, I was very, very enthusiastic in performing Hari Bhajan. But slowly, slowly, you know, I think it's about 3 or 4 years that I have, been in this particular path. But, as time progressed by, my enthusiasm is going down day by day. So, what is the reason? How can I overcome this, or how can I bring back my enthusiasm in devotion? In fact, this was the question I asked to several other uh, devotees. Devotees means acharyas, because I was actually sincerely seeking for a guru. I was in search of a guru. So I was there in other institution for 4 years, but I could not find any, person who could really, what do you call, master over my heart. Yes, I tell you this, you should do this. I couldn't find a true master, sitting in my heart. So I asked this question. So I got a reply from others that, you see, you have to accept Guru now. You have to accept Guru. By your own strength, you cannot make much progress. So you have to accept Guru. So they are all acharyas, they are all gurus who have given me this instruction. So it is true actually that by a living entity, by his own strength, he cannot make much of a progress. Maybe a very, very limited, very, very limited, very, very infinitesimal. By the mercy, it is possible. So this is the same question I asked to. It is the same question that I have Srila Gurudev also in Mayapur. Then Guru Maharaj gave reply to this. He says that the Vaishnavas, they don't see defects in others. You see, my question was that I am losing enthusiasm in devotion. Guru Maharaj's answer was, superficially, it was a tangential answer. It was not a direct answer. He answered that a Vaishnava always sees his own defects. He does not find faults in others. And he does not harm even a small insignificant ant. By knowingly, he will not even harm the finite living creature, even an ant. He sees the Supreme Lord in the heart of all living entities. He does not see defects. He sees his own defects. If a person sees his own defects, then he will have the impetus to rectify that. But if he sees defects in others, how can he correct himself? He can correct himself only if he can see defects in others. How can he see defects in others? If he sees defects in his own self. If he sees defects in his own self, then he can rectify himself. If he sees defects in others, how can he rectify himself? It is impossible. Therefore, he says, try to adjust yourself with the environment. Don't try to adjust the environment. Don't try to adjust the environment. It will never happen. So these are the 2-3 sets of instructions that he gave. Don't try to adjust the environment. Adjust yourself with the environment. Because if you try to adjust the environment, you'll only get frustration. It is never going to be possible. There are 10 different persons. 10 different persons will have 10 different mentalities. You cannot adjust them according to you. You have to adjust yourself according to them, because our ultimate aim is to perform Hari Bhajan. If we want to perform Hari Bhajan, then we have to adjust ourselves. He gave the example of Prahlad, that even in the middle of so many problems that were given to him by his father, Hiranyakashipu, he did not protest. He tried to adjust. He did not try to adjust his father. He did not try to adjust his guru and Guru's son and Amarka. He tried to adjust himself with the environment. And his son, Virochan, he was also not a devotee. He tried to send him to Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the teacher of Devatas, so that he will learn, he will get good qualities. But he didn't want to learn there. He tried to make him a devotee, but he didn't want to become a devotee. So both the generations, his father and his son, both were not favorable to devotion. But even in such conditions, Prahlad had adjusted himself so nicely and performed his Hari Bhajan. Therefore, don't try to adjust others, don't try to adjust the environment, adjust yourself with the environment. And yeah, one more thing he said, Vaishnavas are Paramahamsas. These are the 2-3 set of things that he told. Vaishnavas are Paramahamsas. Paramahamsa means Hamsa has the capacity to extract milk from a mixture of water and milk. Ordinarily, if you mix water and milk, you do not see any difference. Nobody can differentiate between the two. But a Hamsa has got a quality to extract just the milk and leave away the water. Similarly, the Vaishnavas or Paramahamsas, they have got the capacity to extract good qualities from all the living entities. All the living entities, they have both good and bad qualities. A person who has got, good qualities predominating, he is called a good person. But not that he has no bad qualities at all. Even he has bad qualities. We are talking about ordinary persons, not sadhus or devotees, Shuddha Bhaktas or gurus. They are beyond all these, judgments or, these considerations. These are for ordinary people. So, a person is called good if good qualities are prevailing more in him, more predominant in him. But not that he has no bad qualities at all. Similarly, a bad person, a person who has got predominatingly more bad qualities, more prevalent, bad qualities are more prevalent, he is called a bad person. But it is not that a bad person has no good qualities at all. He also has some good qualities. So the Vaishnavas, they extract good qualities from even the so-called good or bad persons in this material world, leaving aside all the bad qualities. That is the quality of a pure devotee. Therefore, Guru Maharaj's indication was that we should always try to see good qualities in others. This was the indication that Guru Maharaj gave. That never see, you should not have the tendency to see defects in others, to see bad qualities in others. You should always see good in others, good qualities. Then what will happen? We will associate with those good qualities. If we see bad qualities in others, then we will associate with those bad qualities. Therefore, our fall down will be inevitable. Guru Maharaj said on another occasion, if you go on seeing bad qualities in others, then those bad qualities will come in you and you will never be in a position to show your face also to others. Because all the bad qualities will come in you because you are discussing about the bad qualities of others. You are talking about the bad qualities of others. There are so many good things to talk about. Supreme Lord, His personal associate, His glories, His dham, His name, they are all unlimited. We have so many topics to talk about. But still, if we are only, desiring to stay in the filthy environment and just, play with the filthy things, then what will happen? Ultimately, our body will turn into filthy thing. Isn't it? When we are playing with the mud all day, what will happen? We will become muddy. In a similar way, if we are only discussing about the bad qualities of others, all those bad qualities will come in us. No way can we or will we try to rectify ourselves. We will be completely, covered with mud, and we will no longer be in a position to show our own face to others. Therefore, Guru Maharaj said, Vaishnavas are Paramahamsas. They only see good qualities. We should learn to see good qualities. So don't blame others. Others can just become instrumental, but they never become the cause. They never become the cause. You have done something in the past that has given this result to you, because Supreme Lord is impartial. That is what, the Bombay, that particular discussion I brought into. Supreme Lord is impartial. He is not partial to one. If a child says that mother loves my brother more than me, then it is a defect of the child. Pure devotee's love, Supreme Lord's love is equal to everyone. Yes, the more one is dependent, the more he feels their love, the more he feels their grace, the more he feels their, their presence. But the thing is, he is impartial. Na cha dveshi, na priyaha. The Lord says there is no one whom I hate, or there is no one whom I, na priya. There is no one who is very dear to me. There is no one who is, whom I hate, or who is very, not dear to me. I am equal to all. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to everyone. The pure devotees, they are also so. So, the Lord is impartial, and therefore He gives the results of what we have done in the past. That is pure, that is completely due to our own thing. Others may become just the instrument, but they never become the cause of our suffering or even our whatever enjoyment that we may get in this material world. No, if someone becomes a cause of our happiness, you are so great. No, it is still Supreme Lord. It is coming through Supreme Lord. He is just the instrument. Yes, you will respect him, you will honor him, but it's not that he is the cause. Cause is Supreme Lord. Similarly, even in the case of distress. So, you have to tell me when time is up. I am supposed to speak only till 5:15. It is 5. Okay.
10. 5:10.
5:15. 5:10. Oh, 5 minutes more. Okay. So, I'll just say this and then conclude. In Bombay again, that was the centennial ceremony of Most Revered Param Gurudev that was being celebrated in 2004. Most Revered Srila Gurudev came to speak Harikatha about Most Revered Srila Gurudev, Param Gurudev. So he spoke the glories of Srila Param Gurudev for some time, and then he spoke the narration of Dhruva. You see, that was an occasion to speak about Most Revered Srila Param Gurudev. He spoke for a brief time, and then he spoke about the pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj. There is a reason behind this, because 2004 was a year where there was a lot of blaming going on around. He is the cause, this person is the cause. So many things were going on around. So Guru Maharaj, he spoke about the glories of Dhruva, and then he very, very forcefully said, we are committing a Himalayan blunder if we say others are the cause of our problem. It is a Himalayan blunder. Means there is no blunder superior to it. If we think that particular person is the cause of my trouble, if we blame others for whatever we are getting, then it is a Himalayan blunder. We should understand that we have done something in the past that has become the cause of my current suffering. Nobody is to be blamed for this. He so forcefully said this that I was also among those audience. Everyone literally turned into tears. The way Srila Guru Maharaj spoke with force, the way Guru Maharaj had, instilled those instructions, or rather he wanted to instill those instructions in the heart of all the persons, almost all of us, there were few hundreds of people sitting in front of him, all of us were into tears. And because we could feel the force with which Guru Maharaj was, sending that message inside the heart. But an unfortunate incident has occurred after that. I remember this because, it's an unfortunate thing. I'll explain after that. You will understand why I remember this. After the Harikatha was over, Guru Maharaj left the place to the place of his residence, and then immediately there was a quarrel that got picked up there, saying this person is the cause, because of him Guru Maharaj has to speak like this. Guru Maharaj was, his heart is not so good, but in spite of that he had to speak so loudly and he had to give this because that person had committed a mistake, and he is the cause of Guru Maharaj's trouble. I was actually completely gone. What is this? Just now we heard this instruction that nobody is to be blamed. And Guru Maharaj wants to give this instruction, and now we are saying that because of that person, he is speaking like this. Actually, I am not blaming those persons who had, seen in this manner. It is there in all of us. While we are in sadhu sangha, till the point we are in sadhu sangha, we think that everything is all right. Oh, it has entered into my heart. We have tears in the eyes. But the moment that sadhu sangha is gone, or we become deprived of it, or the moment we deprive ourselves, it is not that they are depriving us. He has given the instruction. He cannot be there at the back of all the time, with a cane in his hand. No, you are forgetting. No, you are forgetting. They will do it if needed also, but they will not force a living entity to do that. Even after speaking such such a message with lot of gravity, with lot of force, it is very unfortunate that we are still seeing the defects in others. It is me. I know this defect is there in me. I understand why Guru Maharaj had made me speak this, because I need to remember this. Guru Maharaj's first instruction to me, that is, see your own defects. See your own defects. Don't try to adjust the environment. Adjust yourself with the environment. The Vaishnavas are the Paramahamsas. They don't see bad qualities in others. If you do so, you cannot rectify yourself. So, these instructions should always be remembered in the heart. They should be always on the top of everything. When we are doing any service, when we are doing anything, then if we remember this instruction always, then success is assured. There is the Vaishnava's mercy will come. If we sincerely want to follow the instructions, the mercy will come. We cannot follow by our own strength. We have no strength to even follow the instructions of the pure devotees. But if we have the sincerity, if we want to really do so, then the mercy will come, the strength will come automatically. Therefore, we shall, pray to Gurudev, we shall pray to the Vaishnavas, we shall pray to the Supreme Lord. May they give us strength so that we can follow the instructions that they have given to us for our own welfare, for our own ultimate benefit. So I think time is up. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity to sing the glories of most revered Srila Gurudev and remember his teachings.